So good morning, friends. This is Durga again from IT Varsity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. As you guys know, this is backup for my live audience. So if there, one minute. If there are any questions on live chat, I will not be able to take those, but you can always post them on discuss.itvarsity.com. So today we are in the 27th hour, approximately 27th hour in Spark, and so far we have covered Scala as a programming language and how to implement Spark-based applications using Scala. So those who are on WebEx, please confirm that you guys can hear me and see the screen before I proceed further. Hello, guys, can you see my screen? Okay, thank you, Revati. So now we'll get into Python. So how we can use Python in case if we have to build Spark applications. So Python is a programming language, and from certification perspective, either you can choose Scala or Python, whether you go with CCA or HDPCD Spark, Scala or Python, one programming language is good enough. So the reason why I'm covering Spark with respect to Python briefly in next 4 or 5 sessions is, if you are already a Python developer, there is no point in struggling with Scala. You might learn, but if you are already good in Python, you can use Python also in your projects. Or you should also know briefly about Python in case if you are placed in a project where Python is involved, then probably choosing Python might be a more appropriate for programming Spark-based applications. For that reason, I will be covering Python. And before getting into Python, I just created a new exercise in under the same category under big data, which is workshop exercises. And the exercise is a little bit of political analysis for the state of UP. So here we are not actually doing any magic or predicting anything, but just to learn Scala, I just created this simple use case. Okay. So let's understand the description, and we will be trying. We'll try to implement this using Python if we want. Otherwise, we'll go with our typical examples. But whoever is taking my training, if you try to attempt this, it will be a very good exercise. Okay. So we all know that it was a 4-way contest at the time of 2014 general election between BJP, BSP, Congress and SP. Now UP state elections are underway, and it is 3-way contest: BJP, BSP, and SP plus Congress. So now, just based upon the numbers they got in 2014 general elections, if the same alliance was formed in 2014, we just try to identify how many seats BJP will win, how many seats SP and Congress together will win. So that is the base description of the problem. And if you want the data, you can click on this URL. Okay, and if you click on this URL, it will take you to the data. It has the state, constituency, candidate name, and many other details, party name, and also number of votes polled. It does not tell who is the winner, who is the loser. It will just tell for each candidate in each constituency how many votes are polled. For example, for this constituency called Adilabad, there are these many people who contested the elections. Okay, and from this data, we need to identify who is the winner. So for our use case, to see how many seats the alliance would have won if they contest together in 2014 elections, you just have to add Congress and Samajwadi Party votes and come up with the number, and then you have to compare who is the winner. So that's the only thing which you need to do. it sounds very simple, but it tests a lot of your Scala as well as Spark skills. Okay, now I'm going back to here. I hope everyone is clear with the data. I will not be covering the entire thing now. I'm just giving you an exercise. You can give a try if you want to practice Scala and Spark. There are 8,000 records, and if you want to create a copy of this data, just open the file, hit Control A or Command A if it is on Mac, and copy into a file and save it into a file, and then you can actually start processing the data. Data is tab separated, and I have already explained. So if you want to remove the header, for example, if you click on this data, there is a header. If you want, you can remove the header, because it just gives column names. I will highly recommend to try it out to understand how you can actually remove the header in actual scenarios. So if you are interested, you can do that, but it is not mandatory. Okay, and then you have to filter the data for UP, because we are only interested in UP. And then you have to get the votes, BJP, BSP, and cumulative votes of INC plus SP. And then final, what you have to get is the final outcome, number of seats BJP, BSP, and Alliance would have won if it is three-way contest. Very simple use case, nothing fancy. Yes. Yeah. It has got everything. It has 8,500 records. So
you have got other parties also, right? So we have to filter out the other parties and these parties only matters, right?
If you want, you can do that. But see, you should not filter out other parties, because the winner could be other parties also. But I am highlighting only these parties. But overall, I want to see the numbers. Only these parties actually won the won seats in the state. So yes, the final outcome will not change. What you have to do is you have to fit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, if this data is whatever you are saying for the whole India,
yeah,
then even YSRCP also one of you.
No. See, we have to filter out every other state than Uttar Pradesh. We are only interested in Uttar Pradesh. Yeah. You join a little bit late, so you miss initial things. So you can see the description. Let me paste this. So the description is, in 2014 general elections, BJP won 90% of the seats because of the four-way contest in UP. Yeah. So you can give it a try. It is a very good exercise. You will understand. You will get better control about Scala APIs and Spark APIs. Okay. So I will leave it as an exercise. Now I will move forward. So the next thing, for next few days, is all about Python and Spark. Okay. So Python is another programming language like Scala. It is also kind of functional programming language, but the major difference is Python is a interpreter programming language. It's not compiling programming language. There is no compiler involved in Python. You just type the code and it will be interpreted at the runtime, and it will execute whatever you have written. Okay. So the way you can launch, you can, if you set up Spark on your machine. So this is local, my Mac. I'm on my Mac, and I already have Spark. If you are again curious about how to set up Spark, you just have to download the binaries. So just if you want to set up Spark 1.6.2, okay, install. You can go here, and I have shown earlier also this one. So we are talking about 1.6.2. So choose 1.6.2. Pre-built for Hadoop 2.6 is good enough. And then it is just nothing but tarball which is zipped. You just have to download, unzip it, and put it in the location wherever you want. Update your environment variable, especially path, to the bin directory of it. Okay. So in my case, I'm just showing where mine is. I just unzipped and untarred and unzipped and placed. Oh, I think I don't have. Let me see. Spark Shell. Yeah, I don't have. So let me download. It will not take very long time. Oh, it is 265 MB file. Let me disable Wi-Fi. I forgot to disable Wi-Fi. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. So while it is downloading, let me log on to the lab to get. And the way you can launch PySpark is by using PySpark command. By default, it will be local. If you want to use Yarn client, you can say master Yarn client. And if you want to change the port number, you can say spark.ui port, so that you get your own port 12657 and hit enter. So now it started in Python context, and here also you will have Spark context as well as Hive context. You can type SC and you can see the type of it. So it's nothing but object of this PySpark.context.spark context. Okay, and then if you want to read the files and all, it's the same thing as Scala. But the main difference is when it comes to Python, you don't need to tell whether it is mutable or immutable. And also you don't need to specify data types anywhere. When it comes to Scala, we used to set data types in function when we define the parameters. With respect to Python, you don't even need to do that. That's one of the considerable difference between Scala and Python. You don't need to specify val or var while creating variables. You just give the variable name. Let's start working with cards data. Okay, cards is equal to sc.text file, and then public. This is our HDFS location where I have cards data, and we can use cards.count, which is nothing but action to get the count. For some reason, it is taking too much of time. Meanwhile, it is downloaded. So I'm just going to the Finder and copying to my home location. Okay. And I'm opening another tab. Okay. And if it is Mac or Linux, you can just run tar xdf command like this. If it is Windows, you need to figure out how to untar and unzip. Okay. Copy paste. Now you can see there is a directory spark 1.6.2 -bin -hadoop 2.6. I will create a soft link with name Spark. The advantage of doing this is if you want to change the versions, if you want to upgrade later, I just have to download the latest version, unlink this one and link it to that one, and then it will be upgraded. So it will be easier if we create soft links like this. Now I am going to dot profile, and I'm saying export Spark home equal to slash users itversity Spark, and then I have to update. This is more important, updating path. Okay, Spark underscore home dot bin, which is nothing. So Spark underscore bin will evolve, will be evaluated to this value when we actually run this script. Okay, save it and come out, and then run this command. Now the profile will be run. Otherwise, you have to close and restart. If you don't want to close and restart, you can run the profile script like this. In some cases, you might have to update bash underscore profile. In some cases, you have to underscore dot profile. Okay, so you need to understand which shell you are running. If it is bash, you have to update dot bash underscore profile with the same commands. Now you can also confirm by running env command to make sure that the bin of Spark is under path. Then only you will be able to run Spark shell or PySpark from anywhere. Now I can run PySpark here. It will launch the environment in the local mode. Okay, so we can actually use run all the exercises here also, because we have data sets locally. We have set up locally, and we can use this one instead of logging into the lab as well. Okay, so now before getting there, let me explain a little bit about Python Spark programming guide, how to get help, especially at the time of certifications, if you want to develop in Python. So go to Spark programming guide. It's the same documentation which you have to go. Only thing is, when you go here, if you see, you have Scala, Java, and Python. So most of the content, the explanation of APIs and all are same, irrespective of the programming language. But the code snippets will be different. If it is Scala, it will be Java, it will be Java code. If it is Python, it will be Python code. So you can just select Python, and automatically wherever this table is there, the code snippets are there. Automatically, everywhere it will be changed to Python, and then you will be able to explore Spark using Python as programming language. So, for example, if you want to read the files, we can use this command to read the data from the file. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. So here, let me understand where our data is. So you can see the count of our cards. Anyway, I'm coming out of lab now. To exit from PySpark, you have to use the circular brackets or Control D. Okay, I'm exiting completely, and my data is under research, data, cards. So let's use this largedeck.txt.gz. I would like to read only that file. So now I'm saying cards equal to sc.text file. pwd cards.count. So if you don't have enough capacity on your machine, it might run into out of memory issues when you are dealing with larger data sets. And now let us see whether it will run or not. If you see, I'm trying to process compressed data. I didn't make any modifications to the code, as I have explained earlier. I think with respect to Hive, I covered compression a little bit. So when it comes to compression, you don't need to do anything additional for most of the scenarios. As long as the underlying file is opened using appropriate file format, it doesn't matter. If it is compressed, it will uncompress, and it will try to read the data in the file format which we have specified to read. I think it is taking too much of time because of the compression. Let us wait for a minute. If it did not finish, then I will try to process the smaller file rather than larger file. So it all depends upon the Spark version. So we don't need to have Python to get it. So as part of the Spark itself, it will come with the Python interpreter. So it is all part of the package. Yeah. Now you see we got the data. So it's working. The path is correct, and it has actually decompressed and got the data. So I will try to use the smaller one only because it might take long time if we try to use the bigger files. So deck of cards.txt. Okay, we can say cards.first. This is nothing but action to preview the data. And when it comes to Python, if it is string, you will see this character to confirm it is a string. Okay, so it will be easier for us to identify whether a particular column is a string or integer with Python. With Scala, that differentiation is not there. Okay, now let us try to get the count of records by suite. So the second column is suite. So what we have to do, we have to apply the map function. Okay, and here with respect to Scala, how did we specify the lambda function? We just gave the parameter name and imply, and we have provided the functionality, right? With respect to Python, what you have to do is you have to say lambda and then give the parameter name and then colon, and then you actually give the logic. So in this case, the output is tuple. So tuple is same even in Python. Okay, and then here rec.split, and then pipe is the delimiter. So now to get the second column, we have to use one as subscript, and in Scala we used to say like this in circular brackets, whereas in Python it is square brackets. So the subscript for the arrays or collections is read using square brackets. Okay, so here one will give the suite, and then we want to get one so that we can get the card count by suite. Okay, and then close the circular bracket for map, and here we just have to say reduce by key or count by key also. Count by key to just count, you just have to you can also use count by key action. It is an action. Okay, so even though we are not adding these ones, we need to have a placeholder to satisfy key and value pair to apply count by key. Okay, so even in Scala you can use count by key. I think I have not covered extensively at the time, but even though you are using count by key and you are not trying to add anything, you can you still have to satisfy the tuple for all by key functions. Okay, and hit enter. Now you can see that you got the count. So if you want to display properly, you can say for I in. So there is no for each operator in Python as per my knowledge. I'm not a Python expert. There might be a way also, but as per my research, there is no for each kind of operator in Python. So we have to write in a traditional loop. Okay, and if you want to write in multiple lines, you have to escape in the Linux format and hit and okay, sorry. So you have to write like this: for I in cards dot and enter, and then don't hit spaces like this, because indentation is very important in Python. I will cover in a moment. Okay, so if you want to break one line into multiple lines, then you have to use the escape character, and you should not indent anywhere. Okay, comma, count by key, and now we are in the for loop. Okay, the for loop is ended with this semicolon, sorry, with this column. And if you want to get, if you want to print this I, which is nothing but these elements, you just have to indent a little bit. So I will be using two spaces as indentation. You have to use the same string for all indentation. If it is two spaces, you have to use two spaces everywhere. If it is four spaces, you have to use four spaces. I think you can decide, and you can use the same number of spaces wherever you want to indent. And there is no curly braces like in Java or Python. The loops are actually based on the indentation only. Okay, and then print of I and hit enter. So when you hit enter once, it will only go to empty line, and if you hit enter once more, then it will actually execute. Now you can see I got club, heart, diamond, and spade, but I did not get the count. Why I did not get the count? The collection have both key and value pairs. Then why it did not print both key and values? Why it only print one portion of it? Okay, let me try. Okay, because count by key is an action, we should not use collect. I don't know why it is only printing. Sorry. Let me try once again. Print okay. I'm not sure. I will figure it out. I think count by key might be. I will figure it out. So here, if you see, the data type is default dict. So we need to understand how to print the default dict. So let me check it out. Python default dict. Okay. Okay, I will figure it out. Let's see if there's print. Yes. Okay, I will figure it out later. We'll move on. But this is how you can actually write. This one worked, but it is actually giving like a list. It is not actually displaying in individual lines. We will see how to get that later. Okay. Now let us understand a little bit about basic if construct, while construct, for construct. They are similar to any other programming language. You can explore by yourself. I will just show you about the collections. So if you want to create a collection, you can just say L equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can if you want to get the first parameter, you can say L of 1. It will give the first, which means L of 1 means second value in the list. And if you want to get, okay, L is of type tuple. So that is the problem here. Let me create a list. List is not defined. Okay. Python list. Okay, I have to give it in the square brackets. Yeah. So L equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. And now L dot sum. So the problem with the Python is there is no similar autofill feature to get the list of functions. So I'm not sure if there is any. Let me know. I will try to set it up. But as per my knowledge, there is no easy way to get that done. So to add these elements, what we can do, we can create a variable called t equal to 0 to begin with. And if you have to iterate through, you can say for I in L, and then you can say t plus equal to I, and then you can actually print t, and it will give you the count. So this is how you can write the for loop. The main thing you need to understand is the first specification will end with semicolon, and if you want to write multiple lines of code, you just have to indent all those lines up to same level. Okay, if you have another if construct or while construct as part of or another for construct as part of this for construct, you have to again indent from that. So indentation is very, very important. If you are new to this, please practice enough so that you get the indentation straight. Sometimes that if the indentation is not proper, it might compile and run without any issues, but functionally it might yield incorrect results, and you have to be very careful with that. Okay, so that being said, this is just a brief introduction about Python. I will not get too many details. Now let us start developing our same exercises which are developed using Scala using Python. So we will take the total revenue per day and we will try to implement using Python now using Spark APIs. So first what we have to do, we have to read data from orders. Orders equal to sc.text file / users. It is my local machine, so this is my local path. Research data retail _ db orders. Okay, now orders RDD is created, and we want to filter for completed and closed orders, right? So we can say orders dot filter. Okay, here we have to use lambda. There is no underscore notation and all. You have to use lambda, give the parameter name, and then give the expression, rect, and then rect dot split. Okay, and our delimiter is comma, and the last field is order status. So orders have 4 fields: order ID, order date, order customer ID, and order status. And if the order status is equal to completed or complete or closed, then we want to consider only those things. So equal to complete, I think let me get the syntax. I have the code already in my GitHub account. Hadoop, EW, Cloudera, Spark, PySpark. Yeah, it is R. So R rect dot split comma P equal to closed. Okay, so if you want to write it in multiple lines, just line break using backslash and no indentation. Don't indent. If you indent, it will be treated as um, part of a if construct or while construct or for construct, and it will fail. So when you do the line break, don't indent it the way we can do it in Scala. Okay. Now we can actually say orders dot count to get number of orders, and orders filter dot count. So there are only 30,455 completed or closed orders. Now what we have to do, we just want order ID and order date. We don't need anything else. Order ID to join with order items later, and order date, which is required to aggregate to get the total revenue for each day. Okay. So here orders filtered. Sorry, I should not give val here. Orders filtered map equal to orders filtered dot map, and I have to say lambda rect, and here I have to create a tuple so that we can use paired RDD for the join, split, comma as delimiter, and then square brackets 0, and then here it's of type integer, so we have to typecast. How to typecast in Python? In Scala we just say dot to int, right? Here we have to use functions called int for to convert into integer, float to convert it into float, double to cast it into double. Okay, then we have to say like dot split, which will give the order date, and then the bracket to close for map, and hit enter. Now you can preview the data. Again, to preview the data, what you have to do, for I in orders filtered map dot. So which function we should use to preview the data? It's RDD. So which function we can use to preview the data? We just have to use Spark API. Any guesses here? dot. So if I just want to see 10 records, which API should I use? Yeah, take of 10, and then colon. You can give in the same line print of I, or hit enter and indent and then print of I and hit enter. So you can see the data. Now you see the data is of type tuples. First one is already which is of type integer. Second one is date and it is of type string. Okay. You can also just copy paste this one and you can get the, okay, it will not give details the same way as you used to get in Scala. Scala, it would have told you that it's of type tuple and what is the type of first element and what is the type of second element, etc. Here it does not give all those details. Okay, so even when I actually gave orders filter map equal to blah blah blah, it did not return same way as in Scala. Scala, it would have given something like res with some number column and the data type of it, whereas Python, it does not give that information. So you have to be extremely careful. Okay, now I want to get order items data, and here I'm creating a new RDD, order items. And hit enter. Okay, now I want to create a map of it. Map equal to order items dot map lambda rect. Yeah. So here also we need to create the tuple. So rect dot split comma is the delimiter. And then 1 to get the order ID, and this has to be typecasted to int. And then the next one is order item subtotal, which is 5th field, and it is of type float or double. Let us see, rect dot split. Okay, so it will give the order ID and the order item subtotal, and hit enter. You can preview the data saying order items map. Okay, for a in order items map take of 10. Okay, there seems to be some issue. Input path does not exist. Okay, so here it is order underscore items. So whenever you see the error, you have to rerun all the commands, whatever is failing. From that, you have to run all the subsequent commands. Then only it will work. Okay, now you see the data is again of type tuple, and here it does not give the that u, because these are all numeric values, not alphanumeric or string type. Okay, now we can join. So joining is pretty simple. Orders join equal to orders filtered map dot join order items map. Okay, and again I will highly recommend to preview. Take of 10 print of I, and you will see the data. Okay, now it is pretty clear that it is a tuple, and then this is a nested tuple, and each element is separated by comma. Okay, and how do you read a tuple elements? So if it is let me create a tuple here. P equal to like this. So how do we read in Scala? If I have to get this number, what is the syntax in Scala? Can you guys recollect? T dot underscore 1, that's correct. And if I have to get this one, it is T dot underscore 2 dot underscore 1. T dot underscore 2 dot underscore 1, because T dot underscore 2 will give the entire tuple, and we just want this element. Now in Python, there is no underscore notation. Whether it is array or a collection or tuple, it's always square brackets to read the data. Even from JSON also, if you want to read the data in Python, it is always using square brackets. So here, if we say T of 0, we'll give the first element in the tuple. T of 1 is a nested tuple, so it gave the second element in the tuple. And if I have to read the date, it is T of 1.0, and T of 1.1 will give the revenue. Okay, so it is very important to understand this. In Scala, collections are read using subscripts in circular brackets, and tuples are read using underscore notation. And one more deviation when it comes to Scala is the index starts with underscore 1 while reading elements in tuples. In Python, both collections as well as tuples are read from index 0, and the index is passed with circular brackets. Okay, we don't use square brackets. We don't use circular brackets. Okay, now from this to compute the revenue, what I have to do? I have to extract the order date, discard the order ID because we don't need order ID anymore, and extract the revenue. Okay, so which API should I use? So order join is the RDD. So on this RDD, and if you preview the data in orders join, it looks like this. And from this, we just need date and order item subtotal for each item. So first, let me know which API should we use to extract date and the revenue from each record. Any guesses? So Himanshu is saying map. That's correct. Okay. So orders join map equal to orders join dot map, and I will give a minute or two time here, and please come up with the code snippet. That's why you will here we should not give val. Okay, so please come up with code snippet so that you understand the difference. If you have a Spark shell, a Spark installed on your machine, you can use it, or you can log on to the lab and launch PySpark with a unique port, and you can use that also. I will give 3-4 minutes time because this is the first time you guys are doing. Just give me you can actually, if you are interested to, okay, let me explain you. So if you are interested, what you can do, you can create a list. Okay, okay, someone have given the logic. So if you want, you can create list like this. Can you recollect if I want to create RDD out of it to explore the APIs? What is the API should I use? How can I convert this into a RDD. I want to convert the cell into an RDD. How can I do that? Any guesses here? Yeah, I saw your code snippet, but before going there, for others, I will give some time to come up with the logic. Yes, he marked in blue. That's correct. We have to use sc.parallelize. Okay. Sorry, this is not the way. I have to give the list. Now the RDD have two elements, and I just want to extract the second, the date and the revenue from each of these elements. So what we can do, we can use r.map. Okay, so I'm creating third parameter, that's a third variable, c equal to r.map lambda. Okay, rect. Himanshu mentioned to use this one. There is better solution than this, it will work, but there is a better solution than this. If you want, you can come up with that. Okay, now if you say for I in c dot collect of I, there is, okay, here it is res. It works functionally, but still there is a better way of doing that. Any guesses? So this is what I have done. I have created a simple list like this, which I have pasted already, and then I have created a RDD by name R by invoking sc.parallelize on this list, and then we are trying to extract the second element from this list, from each element of this list, for which we are using map function. Once we have given a code snippet which works functionally, but there is a better way of doing that. You just have to say rec of 1. Okay, and then sorry, you can see it here. So already that rec of 1 is nothing but second element, which is a tuple. You don't need to read each element in the nested tuple individually. So this also works. Okay, now to implement it on our orders join. Okay, now I am creating orders join map equal to orders join dot map lambda rec of 1. Okay, now we can say for I in orders join map dot take of 10 print of I, and you got the result. Okay, now we just have to do the reduce by key, right? So orders join map, or let's give it as order revenue per day. I can say orders join map dot, which one we should use here, which API should we use to aggregate the data by each day? Shall we use group by key, or reduce by key, or aggregate by key? Reduce by key and lambda. Here you just have to say the variable names. I'm giving it as ag comma val or value. You can give val also. Val is not keyword in Python, so we can give val and then ag plus val. It works the same way as in Scala. and then we can say order revenue per day dot take off or collect dot print of I have to say this here for I in, and now you can see the revenue for each date. So this is how you can write the program. Okay. So what we have done, first we have read orders. Let me write logic here in Sublime Text. Okay, after reading orders, we can say what I have done, orders filtered equal to orders dot filter lambda rec. Let me get the logic here. Okay, then we have to use map. And don't forget to cast, and this is how casting happens. And then we read order items, and then we have applied the map function. And then join. Okay. So where is the val? I didn't get you. Where is the val? Okay, okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, after orders join is done. This is how we can extract the date and order item subtotal. And then apply reduce by key. And then get the results. Okay. So are you feeling better? Means do you think that if you know Scala, you can learn Python quickly, at least from the data processing perspective, or you think it is way too complicated? Well, there are very few differences which you need to digest. Otherwise, the programming paradigm is almost similar. But the more complex applications you develop, when it comes to dealing with collections and all, the APIs might be different, but the way you have to think and implement is same. Okay, if you want to build web applications in Scala, you have to use Play framework. In Python, you have to use Django, and at that time there will be significant differences, which you have to spend enough time to learn the entire programming language. But when it comes to data processing, there shouldn't be much challenges to switch between the two programming languages, especially with technologies like Spark, where the APIs are same in both the programming languages. Only thing is the syntax is different, and you need to understand those nuances of the syntax, and you can take it from there. So this is how a Python-based program look like. Tomorrow, what we'll do, we will actually try to create into a file and then we will try to run the file and see how we can actually get save. Also, we will see how to save the data into the file system the way we have done with Scala. Okay, so we will not be using IDE like Scala and build tools like SBT. If you want to explore those things, there is something called Python notebooks. I tried to set up, but it is a little bit complicated. But I will cover a little bit later. As of now, I'm completely swamped, and it requires some research about how to set up Python notebooks and start writing Spark-based applications in that. Python notebooks is the most popular, one of the popular Python IDEs which you can use. Okay. So I will not be covering all those aspects in next 4 or 5 sessions. I will just cover about Python. And if you want to do exercises in Python, whatever exercises I have given in Scala in these workshop exercises, you can implement the same things using Python, especially the word count, and then getting top end traded stocks by volume, get daily revenue per department. Whatever you have developed using Scala, you can try it in Python also. Okay, but if you are trying to give the certification, just focus on one programming language, and then later you can pick up the other programming language. Okay, so any questions here? Yes.
Spark certification, right, of Cloudera.
So
do I have to learn Python also, or just Scala? You mentioned 1 or 2 times that you're following Scala.
Yeah, so let us look at what they are saying so that I'm covered. Okay, so I'm going to their official link. So here they are saying these are all about APIs which you need to learn, and then this includes writing applications in both Scala and Python. So earlier they used to have only this one in both Scala and Python, which means that you have to learn both Scala and Python. But after recently they have added this: see note above on exam question format for more information on using either Scala or Python. Okay, so the statement itself is a conflicting statement. Here they say both Scala and Python, and then here they are saying either Scala or Python. However, if you scroll above, it might give some more clarity. So here they are saying this is all old statement. Coding is required if you have to develop some of the, if you want to finish some of the tasks, coding is required. In order to speed up development time for Spark questions, a template is often provided that contains a skeleton of the solution, asking the candidate to fill in the missing lines with functional code. This template is written in either Scala or Python. So they give templates. If they give templates, they can give templates either in Scala or Python. However, this is very important statement. You are not required to use the template and may solve the scenario using a language you prefer. So with this statement, I can say that you can actually choose one of the programming languages, master it. Even if they give 4 templates, 2 in Scala and 2 in Python, for the Scala ones, just use templates and finish off them quickly. And for the other 2, which are given in Python, if you are not comfortable with Python, just develop with Scala. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that being said, I will go on to mute. I'm stopping recording. Please remind me to start recording once we are back. And I will take a little bit of extra time for break, around 5-10 minutes. You also can take if you want. So right now it's 11:36. So let's catch up at 11:45. Okay, and then we will take it from there. I'll put you guys on. I'll put myself on mute and also stop sharing in a moment. And then within 8 minutes, I'll be back. So those who are on YouTube live session, I'm ending this session. You can learn by looking into these videos, and if you need practice, you can go to labs.itversity.com and sign up for the lab. There are 3 different plans. One is for $14.95 for 31 days, $14.95. Second one is $34.95 for 93 days, and $54.95 for 185 days. Whether you sign up for the lab or not, if you have any questions, you can go to the forums, which is nothing but discuss.itversity.com, and you can start posting the questions. There are army of volunteers who are responding. You can also be part of this, and you can also start responding to the questions. That being said, if you like the content, please click on the like button of the video. Oh. Okay, please click on the like button of the video. If you want to share with your friends, just click on share and share it on social networking platforms. And if you want to leave the feedback after the video is streamed, you can actually enter in the comment section. That being said, thank you very much. Bye.